Talking of paradoxes and contradictory elements working simultaneously in the works of Kafka, you have human beings becoming insects or gigantic bugs. At the same time, animals are being upgraded as hybrid intelligent being. That's body and mind paradox for you. Yet another obscure story called as Report to the Academy grabs my attention because here we have an ape as the narrator, and this ape is not an ordinary one. It's a civilized one, quote and unquote. And that's what makes the story funny, absurd, at the same time strange and uncanny. Human beings, we evolved from apes to whatever we are to this stage. But here we have an ape that is civilized and it is giving a speech. So maybe somewhere Kafka is trying to suggest that all of the human, I mean whatever we are now, maybe we are also as funny as that ape that is giving the speech. So do you think the narrative structure that Kafka usually applies to his stories contribute to this absurdity? How how can we be able to understand this kind of contradictory notions available in the works of Kafka?
So most people, when they encounter Kafka for the first time, what happens is there is a kind of bewilderment, like what's happening here? Now it's not that Kafka is the first one to use strange things in novels. Even if you take Tolstoy's Death of Ivan Ilyich, what happens is strange there. You know, Ivan Ilyich falls down one day and he has an illness and he dies because of it. It's strange. Or in some other Tolstoy story, there is Father Sergius, for example, he cuts off his hand. It's strange. Or you know, we talk about ape behaving like a human being, or Samsa becoming a insect. But if you read Harry Potter, which we read and enjoy, these strange things happen there. They don't bewilder us. But why does that happen? Now this is because every writer has a fictional contract with the reader. This contract is indicated in the way the novel begins, in the front page itself. Okay. But Kafka breaks this fictional contract. Now what he does is, he leads, there is a mixture of realism and let's say surrealism in his novels. The Judgment is a very good example for this. Now it's said that Kafka wrote this short story in one night. It is one of his early works. When you read it, you know, it's like any realistic short story. It begins in a very normal manner. What do we expect of a story? We expect that the story should give us the background, the setting, where it happens, at what time it happens, who are the participants, all those things are there. And like a realistic novel, it points out to even minor details. It describes the atmosphere, it describes the friend, it describes the room in which his father is. It also describes things which we would not normally notice. For example, there is a stranger who passes by and this character looks out of the window, does not notice him, etc. Now, if you are used to reading Agatha Christie novels, you will get many such incidents. There is a small incident which we do not notice at the time, and at the end of the novel, that becomes interesting. The thing is, in Agatha Christie, we do not notice it, but she draws our attention to it at the end. Kafka does not do that. We have to find out the significance of this. So when we read the story, we are reading, I mean, it's like, you know, any realistic, even naturalistic story. And when strange things happen, Kafka does not say these are strange things. It's like he says he's an insect, just like someone would say he ate food. So the whole style leads us to expect one kind of narrative. In the end, it becomes another kind of narrative. And one more important thing about Kafka's narrative is that most of his stories are written in third person. But when we read it, we don't even, I mean, our unconscious feeling is it's in the first person narrative. It's like the camera. Camera does not look at itself. We see everything from the point of view of the protagonist, though it is in the third person narrative. So maybe these are the things which bewilder us when we read Kafka.
Sir, should we try to find out meanings in the works of Kafka? Is it even necessary, or should we just accept his work for what they are, absurd, uncanny piece of literature? Or you think decoding the works of Kafka would provide us, deeper insights into the life? Or do you think that kind of process of decoding is even necessary to interpret the works of Kafka?
Yes, I think before I answer this question, I'll talk about one of his stories called as The Top. Now, there is a philosopher in that story who has a theory that if you can explain one smallest thing, then you have explained the universe. So, he is trying to understand, let's say, a spinning top. So, whenever children are playing top, he goes there, runs behind the top, tries to hold it in his hand. But as soon as he holds it in his hand, the mystery is gone. The meaning is gone. He throws it away, and children get upset, and he runs after another spinning top. Maybe what Kafka, this philosopher cannot understand life like those children do. Okay? There is a meaning there for the children when they are playing the top. But that meaning is different from decoding. Yeah? We can understand things, but there is not necessarily decoding. So, we should not try and decode Kafka stories. Okay? This spinning top is like a wheel. I mean, life flows. If you stop it and try to understand it, then the meaning has gone. Yeah? So, what Kafka is trying to do is, he is not trying to construct a philosophy, according to me. He is evoking a mood. Reading Kafka stories is not about trying to understand the absurdity of life. Okay, though it is trying to experience the absurdity of life. Kafka stories are not a record of an event. The story itself is an event. That's why Kafka does not write allegories. When you write allegories, you know the meaning beforehand. Kafka uses metaphor. So there are many strange things in Kafka. For example, a person becoming an insect, someone being arrested one fine day. These are strange things, yes. These things may not have happened in our lives. But the feeling of anxiety that is there in Joseph K. has been there with us at some point of time in our life. So, if you say what is the meaning of Kafka, I would say that there is no meaning, there is an experience in Kafka.
Correct, yeah. Even personally, I have had that experience. Although my car, I carry all kind of documents inside my dashboard. Whenever I see a traffic police huddled up right at the end of the street, I feel scared. And fear is not necessary.
Not necessary, yes.
I can relate to what Joseph might have felt in the very first scene of the crime. I think that's the right approach.
Now that you talked about your experience, let me tell you about one of my experience. I was working in a private company, and there was a new kind of experience for me. I mean, I never thought I'll work in a private company. So, we call the superior officer boss there. So, when the boss walks in, there is always some dread. Have I done something wrong? Have I made a mistake? No, he was a nice person, but still the dread, even if I have not done anything, it was there in a mature person like me. So, Kafka's stories, they elevate it to the level of a nightmare.
So, thank you very much for joining us, and because you have agreed to talk to us about Franz Kafka, our team had an opportunity to discover or explore the lesser known works of Franz Kafka, and I'm really glad that you agreed to spend your valuable time with us. Thank you very much, sir.
I should thank you for giving me an opportunity, and it was very pleasurable. I don't know whether we can say pleasurable when we are talking about Kafka. I'm very happy I was given an opportunity to reread Kafka and talk about him. Thank you very much, Goutam.
So we super enjoyed your company, sir. So that's all about Franz Kafka and his mysterious write-up. If you enjoyed our talk show, then please subscribe to our channel.